Cool. It's good to see everybody. Welcome in. We got a big, busy presentation scheduled for you guys today. Lots of amazing, exciting scholar work and scholar excitement. So I'm going to just pass it right over to Maria and get started. Thank you.
I don't know what time it is for you guys, but good morning where I am from. Today we're going to have Jazmin, Samara, and I present. So I'll go ahead and get started with my presentation. Okay, so I decided to choose a topic of healthy relationships and how it's important to keep healthy relationships in your life in order to have a healthy life. As you guys know, my name is Maria Esparza, and for those who don't know, I am a junior here at Odyssey STEM Academy. A little table of contents, relationships with family, friends, and ourselves is what I'm going to be focusing on. I have top pillars to any healthy relationship, which would be mutual communication, commonalities, mutual respect, mutual trust, and truth, acceptance, encouragement, forgiveness, comprehension, assertiveness, and maintenance. Assertiveness and maintenance means more like they're constantly there for you instead of just being there when it's convenient to them. Forgiveness and comprehension is important to have because if there's no forgiveness when there's little problems, imagine when there's big problems, it can cause something more. Notice how I use mutual a lot because if it is not mutual, it will not work. I feel like if there is no mutual relationship, there shouldn't be one at all. How it applies to family, I feel like in order to have a good relationship, as I said before, it has to be mutual.
Sorry about this, guy. Sure, I got Dennis. Hi, hey. I'm on a webinar.
Hey, Elliot. Anyways, okay, family is really important because friends and significant others can be temporary versus family. Family is always going to be there for you, in my opinion. Family is your main lifeline. I feel like personally, I'm not the best at this, but me and my dad are actually trying to improve our relationship because I know a lot of people have rocky relationships with family, and I don't exclude myself. Me and my dad are working on having the mutual respect because he's trying to transition from seeing me as a little girl to seeing me as a future adult. And it's something we all have to adapt. But I feel like in order to at least have that good relationship, you have to be open to change and open to being wrong. And if you're both stubborn, it's not gonna work. This is a little quote I have because I know not everybody has good relationships with family and doesn't consider their blood family, their family, instead people that are not related to them family, which is the bond that links you, your true family, one of not blood, but the people that bring joy to you. Okay, I'm gonna talk about how this applies to friends. I feel like friends are important to have, but some friends are better to let go. Friends are meant to build your character, not tear it down. Key things I look into for friends are mutual support, safe communication, basically able to express yourself and be yourself around them without feeling the judgment, being trustworthy, and making you feel happy. I feel like if you're constantly feeling down over that relationship, it shouldn't be happening. I acknowledge that not all friendships are going to be perfect. There's always going to be those bumps. There's always going to be problems. But if you keep those pillars in place, if you guys have respect toward each other, I believe you can work past it and it will work towards a healthy relationship, at least in my experience. Big no-nos, things I think that are just like out of line, in my opinion, if they bring you down or discourage you, if they ignore you or only reach out to you when they need it, instead of versus being there for each other, narcissistic behavior, and bringing too much unnecessary stress or drama into your life. Oops. So here are examples of healthy relationships I have. These are my 3 closest friends, Brian, Evan, and Valerie. These 3 share a lot in common, in which are things I look for in my friends. They've always been there for me through my hardest moments. They've showed unconditional love and unconditional support. They're always trying to make me feel better versus judging me based on how I feel. Instead of saying your feelings aren't valid, they say your feelings are valid, but, and then they give advice, because I feel like if you just say, no, it's dumb, you shouldn't feel that way, you should feel happy, it like discourages you and says like, oh, like my feelings aren't valid, I don't feel safe. And I feel like having that safe environment is something very important, so you could reach out to those people in your toughest times. Relationship with yourself is like very, very important. I feel like this is the most important out of all 3, any relationship you have in your life, because if you don't have a good relationship with yourself, I don't know how you can have good relationship with other people. Having a healthy relationship with yourself is the most important relationship, because however often ignored and missed is tragic, because how you perceive and feel about yourself forms your identity. It helps guide your decisions. It impacts how you see yourself, others, and the world around you, and it influences your thoughts, attitude, and behavior. Having a healthy relationship with yourself is imperative to your overall health and happiness. Well, how does this look like? I know we talk about a lot how you have to love yourself, but nobody talks about how to love yourself or how to have that healthy relationship. It involves self-love, recognizing and accepting your value, your unique talents, and a catch of intelligence, witty and honesty, and other amazing things you can have. Don't pinpoint every bad thing you have, because that's going to tear you down. Try to focus on the good and building on what you do have and working on yourself every day. When you're in a healthy relationship with yourself, you put yourself first, not because you're selfish or inconsiderate, but because you can't love others if you don't love yourself. You also cannot be in a healthy relationship with others if you're not in one with yourself. It's a twofold connection. I feel like if you're constantly thinking, oh, I'm selfish, oh, I'm inconsiderate, if you put yourself first, you're never gonna get anywhere, because you need sometimes maybe you do need to be selfish, maybe you do need that time to yourself, but you shouldn't take it as a bad thing, if not a good thing for yourself, because at the end of the day, you have yourself, and not everybody's gonna stay. People come and go, even sometimes, even if I said family doesn't go, but sometimes they can sadly go too. Okay, here's a little scenario. Imagine preparing to take off for an airplane ride. To choose your destination, you've chosen it. The flight attendant below the safety instructions over the last system to the flyer, secure your oxygen mask on your face before putting it on anybody else, even a child. If you're not secure, then how can you be there for someone else? You can't. Therefore, practicing self-care and demonstrating positive self-esteem and self-confidence, having strong self-respect, and displaying goodwill towards others is essential for having a healthy relationship with yourself and others. Ironically, most of us have no problem focusing and loving others unconditionally. However, we find it extremely difficult to extend the type of focus and love to ourselves. These are some key points I wanted to emphasize a lot. We cannot emotionally survive if our needs are not met. So if you are struggling to love yourself and form a healthy relationship with yourself, look no more, because this article will teach you how to develop. Because this is I quoted this from an article. So I wanted to actually I forgot to put the link in here. I was gonna link it to you guys so you guys could read it. That's my bad, but I'll look for the link and I'll put it in the chat later. But yeah, that's what I had to say about that. Big no-nos I find is putting yourself down, not appreciating yourself, putting others before yourself. And you need to take no more than what you can handle, or else you will burn yourself out. And that's also something you want to avoid. And thank you.
I have a question, Maria. First, a comment. Really nice job on your presentation, and it's so important to really focus on relationships. And I love that you thought about it as family, friends, and yourself, and that it's so important to focus on your relationship with yourself. I think we forget about that sometimes. So very well done. And my question is, I'm curious, you gave a lot of really good advice and things for us to think about. And I wonder which ones have you been really focusing on improving for yourself that have made a difference in your relationships?
I feel like a lot of the giving that love to myself as well. I tend to care for others and put them before myself instead of also thinking about myself. My friends tell me this a lot. They're like you have to like stop doing this. It's gonna hurt you more in the long run. And I've been working with my friends to build on that and have a healthier relationship with not just them, but myself. Okay, our next presenter is Samara. Samara, you can take it away.
Hi, my name is Samara. I don't know if you guys remember me, but I actually presented when I was a sophomore here at Odyssey STEM Academy, but I'm currently a junior. So let me just get my presentation up. So my name is Samara Watts. I'm a junior here at Odyssey STEM Academy, and my presentation is basically going to be like an extension of what Maria touched on, which is self-care. I wanted to start off with the dictionary definition of self-care. So self-care is the practice of taking action to preserve and improve one's own health. For example, autonomy in self-care and insulin administration. How can self-care, not safe care, improve your health? So some of the bullet points that I put down that I did some research on, which was actually surprising to me because some of these things I didn't even know, was that, obviously self-care can help improve your sleeping habits, improve focus, but it also strengthens your relationship with others. And when you focus on yourself for a bit, it also increases your feelings of worthiness and improves your feelings of well-being. But because if you don't care about yourself, it can actually start to take a mental toll on you, not only just a mental toll, but also a physical toll. You can start to see yourself depreciating, once you don't care about yourself, it's important. And self-care can also reduce stress and anxiety, and it increases self-confidence. So I decided to touch on 4 different types of self-care, which is the most known ones that you maybe don't know by name, but you've probably heard of them. So I'll be starting off with emotional self-care. So this one takes, place in the heart. So this type of self-care may include making sure to set boundaries on things like time and energy. So, when you're not in the mood to do something, that doesn't mean just put it off and like procrastinate, but it means taking the time out of each day for yourself, reflecting on yourself, taking a break, because you don't want to frizz out and just burn out, like Maria said. It also focuses on trying to surround yourself with positive people and affirming messages like family and friends, which is also something Maria touched on. And I feel like the general message for this type of self-care is treat people how they want to be treated. Because if you're going to treat people bad because you're in a bad mood, I've done this, I'll be in a bad mood and I'll feel bad for being mean to someone. And in return, they'll be mean to me. And then it'll just ruin my mood. And then I'll feel bad for the rest of the day. So it's just best to at least try to be a bit kinder every day, because then you can start noticing your general attitude towards people and life get better over time. And over here is a little quote that I added. Just a simple affirmation that you could say every day in case you have a bad day. So today was bad, but tomorrow will be better. Moving on, my second self-care tip, form of self-care is physical self-care, which takes place in the body. So this type of self-care is actually known the most, has the most social coverage, but it doesn't mean it's the best, and it doesn't mean that you have to do this. So this takes place in the body, and this type of self-care involves maintaining a healthy overall lifestyle. And when I say healthy, I don't mean like those YouTube vloggers that vlog, waking up at 5 a.m. every day, green juice, those California girls. That's not what I mean. Basically, just drinking a lot of water, taking care of your body, not eating a lot of junk food, because I'm not gonna lie, I have an energy drink addiction. I have one in front of me right now. I'm trying to work on myself. I'm trying to drink a lot more water, and I'm trying to eat a lot better because I also have a bag of chips on me right now. So I'm trying to make sure, I focus on myself. And this also includes, exercising and everything, because I don't exercise as much as I used to. And, Maria can vouch for me, but I've been playing volleyball with, my schoolmates a lot more because it makes me feel good. Volleyball is fun. So this can also include rearranging and decluttering your room and office so that you have a feeling of manageability, because that's actually something I started doing over the summer. I was gonna have pictures, but I didn't have time to take pictures. My room was kind of messy, so. But I like rearranging my room because it makes me feel like I'm productive. It gives me a fresh start, And when I have a fresh start, I feel more productive, but everyone's different. And then there's psychological self-care, which is also really important, but I don't think a lot of people know the name of it. And that takes place in the mind. So these activities may be tied to psychological self-care that both include professional and personal development, character development, as you hear like Instagram and social media a lot. You try to give things in your life that you control the most attention. So like if you're mad about a situation, but you have no control over it, like, oh, my principal did this and I can't do anything about it and it's making me mad. Don't do that, because that just stresses you out. And I'm gonna not lie, this is also a problem I have, and Maria can vouch again, I do it a lot. So I'm trying to work on that as well. You can control things like inner thoughts and inner feelings, do simple things like taking deep breaths and just stepping away if you need a break can make a drastic change in how you feel. And try to also make yourself aware of how you feel through journaling, which I try to do, but it's not really me, because I don't know, I just don't like writing down my feelings. Talking with others, which is something I do, meditating, and even if you feel comfortable, just getting a counselor or like getting someone that's good at talking, having a good friend, like Maria said, someone that's always going to be there for you to listen, and not someone that's there for only you to listen to them, because then it's kind of just like, what's the point? You need to reflect on yourself, and they can't just reflect on you without you reflecting on yourself. And the fourth one, which is kind of underrated, is spiritual self-care. This is the spirit, the soul. And some people don't believe in this because, not everyone's religious. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not that religious. So this one includes prayer and meditation. But it doesn't mean that you can't use it if you're like, not religious. Here you try to practice gratitude and spending more time in nature and be aware of non-material things, not like a material girl. And practicing mindfulness also helps. So like maybe say some positive affirmations, like I said before, but instead be like, oh, I'm grateful that I have water. I'm grateful that I have food. I'm grateful that I'm healthy, because a lot of people in this time, it's hard to maintain a good, healthy lifestyle because of the pandemic. So it's really good to be grateful for the things you have in life, because not everyone may have those things. Moving on, how do I practice self-care personally? So I kind of already talked about this. I've been personally trying to focus on the things that make me happy, because with school starting back up, we just came back in person. I've been focusing a lot on school, and I love school, but it doesn't make me happy. Doing all the work and everything is not my forte. So like I said, I rearrange my room almost every month. It refreshes my system and it helps me focus a lot more. I have 2 desks in my room, so I kind of like switch it up, because I don't like sitting in the same place every day for like a long time. I just can't do it. Like I said, I've also been drinking a lot more water, cutting back on the energy drinks, and overall trying to maintain a good, healthy lifestyle by eating better. But there's always, a flip side. So this is something I notice a lot on social media that even sometimes I fall into the trap of, which is toxic self-care. So I just want to put out there, like, don't believe all those, self-care tips on TikTok and on Instagram, because those things aren't necessarily true. They do have some truth to them, but the way they're presented to you by influencers and by people with big following aren't aren't what they really say they are. So that's like putting things off and canceling plans, you know, just because you don't feel like it isn't really self-care, you know? You also have to think about, well, is this plan making me anxious? Because if you cancel it, then maybe that is self-care. But if you're just canceling because you don't want to do that, that's actually the opposite of self-care, because you're procrastinating, and then you're gonna basically overthink because you're procrastinating. And then you're gonna get even more anxious, and it's just gonna blow up in your face. You're gonna burn out. I also wanted to put out there that, you know, self-care tips don't replace mental health services. So you can't wake up every morning, drink a bottle of water, you know, instead of drinking a soda, and be like, I'm cured. You know, this doesn't work that way. And this is something I noticed that I also have a problem with, is chasing perfection. This year, I've been really trying hard to be like that perfect student, because, you know, I really want to get into good colleges, but that's not always the best thing for your mental health. So you got to take it one day at a time, one step at a time. A lot of those influencers on TikTok, they all often appear to have like a perfect lifestyle, nice cars, you know, pretty faces, perfect bodies and everything. But I think news and everything has showed us that their lifestyle indeed isn't perfect, you know? And it just stresses you out even more when you're trying so hard to be perfect that it's making your mental health imperfect, you know? And don't take social media tips to heart. You know, everyone is different. Like I said, I rearrange my room because I like it. It refreshes my brain and everything. But maybe someone else doesn't like you touching their stuff, you know? Or maybe someone else doesn't want their stuff moved. Maybe they're, you know, they're comfortable with the way it is. And I understand that, because I'm a person that adapts to new changes and likes new changes. But my dad doesn't, so he always kind of gives me a side look when I do it. But, you know, I'm doing it for me, not for him. These are some warnings that show whether you are practicing self-care or not. Spending money to make you feel better. This is something I do a lot, unfortunately. I give money and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna buy this and I'm gonna buy this and I'm gonna buy this. I get it in the mail. I'm like, oh, cool. Okay, cool. That made me happy for 5 seconds. I opened it, it looks nice. What now? You know? So it's basically just a waste of time, a waste of money. Also focusing on looks. So if you're basically trying to do physical self-care, but it's mostly you just doing a new skin routine, you know, and like scrubbing your face every day, like doing all these different face masks, and then it's not gonna work, because they say that, you know, when you're happy, when your soul is glowing, your face glows, you know? It's obvious when you're happy and when you're unhappy. You could be the most perfect, prettiest person in the world, and you could still see if you're stressed, or you could still see if you're not okay. And like I said earlier, bailing on plans due to calling it self-care. Again, only like bail on plans like if you know it's gonna make you anxious, or if you know that maybe you won't be able to do it, you know? So always start off slowly. If you're like one of those people that, you know, are introverted, like staying inside, it's best if you like gradually go up to, you know, making big plans and going out and everything, because it takes a lot of time, and, you know, people understand. And cutting people off too quickly, which is something that I wanted to connect to with Maria's. You know, you have family and friends and everything, but sometimes you do have good family and friends, but you don't know it because they make mistakes, you know? I'm not saying, you know, it's okay to excuse like toxic behavior, but everyone does make mistakes. No one is perfect, you know? So me and my best friend, we argue. Now, I'm not gonna say a lot, but we argue over some stupid things. But we always see the eye to eye. So it's kind of like you have to pay attention to who's really toxic and who wants to drag you down, and who's there for you but doesn't know how to support you. And also something that I noticed that a lot of people do to make themselves feel better is indulging in unhealthy food, like, you know, going out and eating fast food every single day. Because I like eating fast food and it makes me happy, but it's not really caring about my physical self, is it? You know, it's making me unhealthier in a way than, you know, improving myself. So here's a summary of self-care. Self-care comes in many different forms, but everyone is different. So self-care will not look the same for everyone because everyone's mental health is in different places. Self-care takes care of yourself, not others. It's literally in the name, self, like, come on. Thank you. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask.
Samara, thank you for your presentation. I think that was really thoughtful and well thought out. And one thing that I really appreciate that you talked about is how you tried many things. And some you recognize don't work for you, like journaling, and other things that do work for you, rearranging your room, and really like that it's really tailored to yourself. And really, you can see that you really understand yourself. I'm curious, and you may not have an answer. Is there anything that you haven't tried yet, but you're thinking like, maybe I'll try this and see like how that supports me?
Oh, sorry. Actually, I've been trying to go on more walks. Like I said, appreciating nature, because that's something I don't do. And it's not that I don't want to do it. I just haven't gotten a chance to do it yet. But I feel like, walks clear your head for a lot of people. And, I just like breathing in that fresh air. So I'm going to try and start taking walks at least every day. If not in like the morning. I'm not going to wake up at 5 a.m. to take a walk, but I'll try maybe after school or something.
Nice. That's a good one.
If there's no more questions, I would like to hand the mic over to Jazmin.
Okay, so hi, I'm Jazmin, a junior in a current Project Insight Fellowship. Today I will be presenting how lack of nutrients impacts our eye health. So a little bit of an overview of what Project Insight is. It's a big picture learning partner who supports high school students to pursue their interest in real world settings under the guidance of a professional mentor within the eye health community. To start off, nutrition has an impact on overall health, but something we don't really consider or think of much is how it impacts our eye health or like our vision. A little overview of what is vision. So in order for us to have a healthy eye, we need to have it clear, no red stuff. It looks normal. A healthy retina, we're able to see normal, meaning everything is clear to us. We basically have our whole eye healthy, and in order for us to see, the light enters our eye, starting off with the cornea, and then to the pupil, then to the iris, then lens, then the vitreous body, then to the retina, then from there it goes to the optic nerve, and finally to the brain, where like the light gets processed for us to see. As it enters the pupil and to the retina, the light is refracted. And once it hits the retina and hits the optic nerve, it's like it's getting visual processed, also known as phototransduction, which is where like the signals are being received to the brain, and you're able to see from there on. Now, low vision is commonly due to a problem occurring to one or more of the visual pathways, which do include the medial, retinal, and the neural. The media is the front part of the eye. The retina is the rear part of the eye, and the neural health is what's connected to our eye vision. When there's a problem to any of these visual pathways, it can include damage to like corneal, to like the retinal blood vessels, and or even damage to the neural circuits. Now, how do nutrients help keep the visual pathways healthy? Well, according to the UCLA Health David Geffen School of Medicine, in order to keep the media healthy, the metabolism and blood flow within the structures of eye can be kept healthy if nutrients are consumed. Nutrients can help nourish the delicate retinal pigment epithelium, and finally, it can help the central nervous system health and optic nerve connections for healthy vision. Now, three components of nutrients can include hydration, protein, and fuel. Foods with high water are recommended to keep the whole part of the eye healthy. For protein, the medial health, it's needed nutrients that support muscle and collagen health, which can include and are found in chicken skin or broth or copper. For the retina nutrients, it's needed nutrients to support metabolism across the RPE, which can be found in zinc or vitamin A and B. And neural health needs nutrients for the nervous system, such as vitamin B complex. For the fuel, both media and neural health, they both need foods with low sugar and glycemic and high fiber, and the retina health needs low glycemic foods to keep this whole eye healthy. Now, I did ask my mentor for some types based off his experience, some types of nutrients that are needed. One of the most common is vitamin A, since it can help keep the eye to work properly. Not having enough vitamin A can cause deficiency in terms of leading to blindness. It's very uncommon here just because we have the right proper amount of nutrition we need. And it is more common in third countries since they don't really have the nutrients they need in order to keep their eye functioning properly. And vitamin A can be found in like carrots or oranges. For fish oil, it can help keep the dry eye like improve by like the oil of the meibomian glands on the eyelid. And finally, lutein and zeaxanthin, it's like where two pigments are in the macula. Those are needed to keep the eye healthy, but not having enough pigment in the eye or like not having these nutrients can lower your pigments, which can lead to like macular degeneration and other like diseases. But despite you eating healthy, it's best to keep in mind that not to overdo it on the nutrients or underdo it on the nutrients, since it can cause other, side effects such as overweight or obesity. It can cause prediabetes and chronic infections. So it's always best to keep in mind to eat the right amount of nutrients needed to keep yourself healthy and your eye vision. Now, overall, the whole point of this presentation and or goals that should be considered is that every meal and or snack you eat, it should contain any type of fiber or any type of plant species. Make sure to eat the right amount though and stay active, and basically just living a healthy lifestyle and doing what you're supposed to can help not only keep your whole body healthy, but also your eye vision, something we don't really consider much. So it's something we should basically consider to keep our eye health healthy. Thank you.
Is there any questions for Jazmin? Right now would be the time to ask.
Just a comment. I'm going, oh, this come a long way since the last webinar in terms of the articulation of well-being and eye. So congratulations to you. It's wonderful to see and to hear you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jazmin, for raising our awareness about how all of these measures affect our eyes. Like you said, we don't always think about that, but sleep you brought to us last time, and caution the time before, and today on nutrients. And it's important to realize, all of these healthy lifestyle changes with BP living really make us healthy in so many different ways, and our eyesight is an important one. So I appreciate that you're constantly reminding us of that, and just giving us even more reasons to have healthier, make healthier changes. So thank you, Jazmin.
Thank you.
Well, if there's no more questions or comments for Jazmin, I would like to ask Elliot or Isary if you guys have any announcements you would guys like to make.
I'll make some if it's all right. I'm here at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas, talking about the work that you're doing, and as I'm walking through places, showing people actually the webinar that's on right now. And BP Living, like I told you last time, is being funded by the Lego Foundation. And one of the students at Odyssey already, unbeknownst to Lego or us, did a animation with Legos on the harmful effects of pizza, which I actually showed the vice president of Lego the other day. He was very taken back in a great way by it. So what's happening now is that we have a challenge to get to 100,000 students in the next year, with the webinars that you're doing and what we can post and how you can talk to other students about these pieces. And Isary in the Skunk Works team, and now Donique, who is on paternity leave, is about to come back, and direct the program from the big picture side of things with Dr. Marcia Gale Davis from ACLM. So I'm real excited about the work that you continue to do, and that there's going to be more ways for you to get reach and get to other schools and students across the United States and the world. So we're all real proud of what you've done so far and excited about what's going to happen in the future, that Isary and Andrea and Carrie and others and Danique and Marcia Gale will be in touch. Of course, Paul, thanks for facilitating and gathering students and sending me posters and picture photos of their giant beets that they're putting out of the garden. So that's my quick update, everybody. And congrats to everybody on a wonderful webinar once again. They get better and better as we go along.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, just I want to thank everyone for joining us as well, and the amazing presentations that all you students created. They're very insightful. I feel like I learned a lot of tips, and I just have a quick announcement. So we do have our Big Bang coming up July 24 to 27, and we'd love to see you guys there. It will be held in South Florida. So please do register RSVP by visiting bplevents.org. And yeah, we pretty much hope to see you guys there. Will the presentations be available on the website? Yes, Shannon, thank you for asking that question. If we are able to connect with Samara, Jazmin, Maria, if you're able to send me your presentations, we'd also love to have it as a resource on the website for other students to see and other advisors to get inspired. So yeah, let's connect about that afterwards.
I'd love to have my students see them. They're really, really good. And you know, when you guys are the ones doing it and not the adults, I think it has way more impactful. So thank you guys for doing the work and being really honest about where you're at. That's super cool. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I think that pretty much wraps up our webinar for today. If you are interested in attending the next one, please just make sure you're subscribed to our newsletter. Otherwise, thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.